Every Glock you've ever seen or fired traces back to one single handgun, and by the end of this video, you'll find out why one of Glock's own models is actually illegal for almost every American to own. That gun is the Glock 17, the one that started it all. It was designed by Gaston Glock, an Austrian engineer with zero previous firearm design experience, but deep expertise in advanced polymer manufacturing. That unusual background is exactly what led to one of the biggest innovations in modern handgun history. When the Austrian military adopted the Glock 17 as the P80 in 1982, it became the first polymer-framed service pistol to achieve widespread success. At a time when most steel-framed duty handguns carried just 7 or 8 rounds, the Glock 17 packed an impressive 17 rounds of 9mm in a double-stack magazine. That jump in capacity changed expectations across the entire firearms industry and forced manufacturers to rethink what a standard service pistol should offer. That original full-size frame still serves as the foundation for every full-size Glock produced today. It's a favorite for duty use, home defense, and open carry because the larger grip gives shooters better control, softer recoil management, and the highest standard magazine capacity in the Glock lineup. The Glock 17 also introduced a major advancement in durability. Glock applied a ferritic nitrocarburizing treatment to the slide and barrel, creating exceptional resistance to corrosion and wear. At the time, this type of finish was virtually unheard of on duty pistols. Although many shooters were initially skeptical of a handgun built largely from polymer, the design quickly proved itself. Over the years, the Glock 17 became one of the most widely issued law enforcement sidearms in the United States. Here's the thing, nearly every other Glock you've ever heard of is simply an evolution of that original full-size platform made shorter, longer, or slimmer to fit different needs. The first major variation was the compact Glock 19, introduced in 1988, just 6 years after the Glock 17. By shortening both the barrel and the grip by roughly half an inch while preserving the same operating system, Glock created a pistol that maintained its legendary reliability in a more compact package. One of the Glock 19's biggest advantages is compatibility. Even though the pistol is smaller, it can still use the larger Glock 17 magazines, as well as extended magazines designed for other full-size models. That gives owners the flexibility to carry a compact handgun every day while keeping higher capacity magazines available as reloads. That combination of concealability, shootability, and versatility has made the Glock 19 one of the most recommended handguns in America. It has also been adopted by numerous military and law enforcement organizations, including U.S. Special Operations Command, which designated it the MK-27 Mod 2, and the U.S. Marine Corps, which uses it in specialized roles. Like every modern Glock, the Glock 19 uses the company's striker-fired safe action system. Instead of relying on an external manual safety, it incorporates 3 passive internal safeties that disengage only when the trigger is deliberately pressed. It's a design Glock has kept remarkably consistent across every generation since the original pistol debuted. If you ask experienced instructors or gun store employees which single Glock they'd recommend, the Glock 19 is almost always the first answer. It gives up only a small amount of magazine capacity compared to the Glock 17, while offering a noticeably smaller footprint that's easier to carry every day. Go even smaller, and you reach Glock's subcompact category. Leading that class is the Glock 26, a 9mm pistol built specifically for concealed carry. Its standard magazine holds 10 rounds, but despite the reduced dimensions, it still uses Glock's double-stack magazine design. Like the Glock 19, the Glock 26 can also accept larger Glock magazines, allowing owners to carry a highly concealable handgun while keeping higher capacity magazines as backups if needed. For many concealed carriers, that's an easy compromise. The Glock 26 is significantly easier to hide under everyday clothing than either a compact or full-size handgun while still offering the reliability Glock is known for. Glock has expanded this same subcompact concept across several calibers, including the 40 S&W Glock 27, the 357 SIG Glock 33, and the 10mm Glock 29. That gives shooters who prefer different cartridges the same compact platform originally introduced with the Glock 26. But Glock didn't stop at making guns shorter. Next, they went thinner. Enter the Slimline series. While the subcompact models reduce overall length and height, Slimline Glocks focus on minimizing width instead. Instead of using the traditional double-stack magazine, these pistols feature a slim, single-stack design, creating some of the thinnest handguns Glock has ever produced. Released in 2015, the Glock 43 holds 6 rounds of 9mm in a pistol that's just over an inch wide. Its slim profile made it an instant favorite among concealed carriers, and it quickly became one of the most commonly carried concealed handguns in the United States. Even though Glock entered the slim single-stack market later than many competitors, and after introducing the softer shooting 380 ACP Glock 42 the year before, the Slimline series quickly earned a loyal following. Glock expanded the lineup with the Glock 43X, which pairs the same slim slide as the Glock 43 with a longer grip that increases capacity to 10 rounds. It followed that with the Glock 48, combining the same slim frame with a longer slide comparable in length to the Glock 19. Every Slimline model makes the same trade-off. You give up some magazine capacity in exchange for a noticeably thinner pistol, typically measuring just over an inch at its widest point. That slimmer profile makes these models exceptionally comfortable to carry all day, which is exactly why they're so popular among people who carry concealed every day. Now flip that priority completely, and you reach the opposite end of the lineup, Glock's competition-focused pistols. Instead of prioritizing concealment, these models are designed for maximum accuracy. Their longer barrels and slides increase sight radius, giving shooters more precise alignment between the front and rear sights and making accurate shots easier, especially at speed. The Glock 34 is the best-known example. Built on the full-size Glock 17 platform, it features a 5.31-inch barrel and an extended slide that has made it a favorite in practical shooting competitions as well as among specialized law enforcement units where precision matters more than concealability. Before the Glock 34, Glock introduced the Glock 17L, featuring an even longer 6-inch barrel. While technically its own model, most Glock enthusiasts group it alongside the Glock 34 because both were designed with competitive shooting in mind rather than everyday carry. Neither handgun is intended for concealed carry, and their longer dimensions become immediately noticeable if you try to wear one under regular clothing. Many of these competition-oriented models are also available with Glock's modular optic system, better known as MOS. This factory-cut slide allows shooters to mount a red dot optic directly to the pistol without custom machining, making it easier to take advantage of the speed and precision that red dot sights offer in both competition and defensive shooting. There's also a category most people don't even know exists, the crossover series. Originally developed during the U.S. Army's modular handgun system trials, the Glock 19X combines the full-size grip of the Glock 17 with the shorter slide of the Glock 19. The result is a pistol that offers the control and magazine capacity of a duty gun, while reducing overall slide length for improved handling and easier carry. Glock later refined the concept with the Glock 45. Although its name might suggest otherwise, it has no connection to the older 45 ACP Glock 12. Instead, the Glock 45 is a 9mm pistol built on the same crossover layout, updated with Gen 5 improvements such as an ambidextrous slide stop and Glock's enhanced marksman barrel. Both crossover models retain the standard 17-round magazine capacity while benefiting from the shorter compact length slide. For many shooters, they represent an ideal middle ground between a traditional full-size duty pistol and a compact carry handgun. Although the U.S. Army ultimately selected another handgun for its modular handgun system program, the Glock 19X demonstrated that there was strong civilian demand for the crossover concept. One important detail is magazine compatibility. Because these pistols use a full-size grip, they require full-size Glock 17 length magazines. Standard Glock 19 magazines are too short to lock into place and won't function properly. Here's where things change completely. Not every Glock is chambered in 9mm. To accommodate larger, more powerful cartridges, Glock created its large frame series. These pistols feature wider frames, larger magazines, and heavier slides designed to handle increased cartridge size and higher operating pressures. The Glock 20 is chambered in 10mm auto and carries 15 rounds in a full-size double-stack magazine. Originally developed to provide significantly more power than typical 9mm service pistols, it remains popular among shooters looking for greater ballistic performance. Its close relative, the Glock 21, is chambered in 45 ACP. Designed primarily for the American market, it fires one of the country's most iconic handgun cartridges, a round with a reputation that stretches back more than a century to the legendary M1911. Both pistols feature noticeably wider grips and slides than Glock's standard 9mm models, giving them a larger feel in the hand while providing the strength needed to reliably handle these more powerful cartridges. For shooters who want similar performance in a more compact package, Glock also offers smaller large-frame models, including the 10mm Glock 29 and the 45 ACP Glock 30. One important thing to understand is that Glock's large-frame pistols are built on an entirely different platform than the standard 9mm models. The dimensions of the frames, slides, and internal components are different throughout, which means a large frame slide cannot be installed on a standard 9mm frame, and the reverse isn't possible either. The two systems simply aren't interchangeable. And now we get to the one Glock that breaks every rule we've talked about so far, the most unique Glock ever produced, the Glock 18. After the Austrian military adopted the Glock 17, Glock developed a select fire version for Austria's elite EKO Cobra counterterrorism unit. The company designated it the Glock 18, using the next available patent number in its product lineup. At first glance, the Glock 18 looks almost identical to a standard Glock 17. The major difference is a selector switch located at the rear of the slide, allowing the shooter to switch between semi-automatic fire and fully automatic fire. When set to full auto, the Glock 18 has an extremely high cyclic rate, capable of emptying an extended 33-round magazine in only a matter of seconds. While impressive on paper, that level of fire is extremely difficult to control, making accurate sustained fire challenging even for highly trained shooters. Because of those characteristics, the Glock 18 has remained a specialized firearm intended almost exclusively for military and elite law enforcement units rather than standard police service. In the United States, civilian ownership of the Glock 18 is effectively prohibited under federal law, which brings us back to what we promised you at the start of this video. The extended 33-round magazine commonly associated with the pistol helps compensate for how rapidly ammunition is consumed during fully automatic fire. While nearly every other Glock model can trace its design back to the original Glock 17, the Glock 18 occupies a category of its own as the only factory-produced Glock capable of true select-fire operation. The Glock 18 also helped fuel one of Hollywood's most enduring firearm myths, the idea that Glocks are plastic guns capable of passing through metal detectors undetected. That claim has never been true. Although Glock's polymer frame was revolutionary, every Glock, including the Glock 18, contains major steel components such as the barrel, slide, and internal operating parts. Those components are easily detected by metal detectors and clearly visible on X-ray scanners, just like any other modern handgun. So the next time someone tells you a Glock can slip past airport security, you'll know exactly why that's just a movie myth.